Pakistan's key terror plotter, to be extradited to India. Captain Tahawwur Hussain Rana of Pakistan Army finally nailed
Mumbai terrorist attack to face justice in India. So he's going to be going back to India to face justice.
US Supreme Court turns down Captain Rana's request to remain in the US. Key plotter of 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, Pakistani Captain Tahawwur Rana, to be sent to India.
The extradition of Tahawwur Rana. The joint statement which was adopted during the visit of the Prime Minister also reflects this sentiment.
Will Tahawwur Rana expose Pakistan's Mil Jihad network? Will Pakistan ISI and Lashkar-e-Taiba nexus finally be exposed to the world? Big win for India in the war on Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror, and that's our top focus on the show. The United States Supreme Court has finally cleared the decks for the extradition of Pakistan Army's Captain Tahawwur Hussain Rana to India. He was living in Canada after his conviction in a terror plot to target a Danish newspaper in Copenhagen. He was in a US prison in the United States of America. But now he will be extradited to India to stand trial and spill the beans on the involvement of the Pakistani deep state, of Pakistani ISI and army and Lashkar-e-Taiba in the execution, planning and execution of 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. But his interrogation is more than just an academic exercise. He holds secrets about future plans of Pakistan's Mil Jihad complex, that military terror complex, to bleed India. 26/11 was not enough for these Pakistani terrorists, whether in uniform or in Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. We get you more in this report. 17 years after one of the worst Pakistan state-sponsored radical Islamist terror strikes in India, the decks have finally been cleared for one of the key 26/11 plotters, Captain Tahawwur Hussain Rana, to be extradited to India from the United States. Captain Tahawwur Rana is a former doctor of the Pakistan Army who lived in Canada and was recruited as a Lashkar-e-Taiba sleeper cell by Pakistani-American terrorist David Coleman Headley long before the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. Rana officially ran an immigration company in Canada, and both Headley and Rana used the company as a front to set up offices in Mumbai and used their US and Canadian passports repeatedly to come to India and carry out reconnaissance missions. During Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit to the US, President Donald Trump spoke of counter-terror cooperation and the extradition of Captain Rana to India to face trial in the Mumbai terror attacks case.
Today I'm pleased to announce that my administration has approved the extradition of one of the plotters and one of the very evil people of the world, and having to do with the horrific 2008 Mumbai terrorist attack, to face justice in India. So he's going to be going back to India to face justice.
The US Supreme Court Chief Justice turned down Captain Tahawwur Rana's last-minute plea to remain in the US. Captain Rana had claimed, being a Muslim of Pakistani origin, he would be unsafe in India and may not live to stand trial. But nothing could be further from the truth, since even Ajmal Amir Kassab, the Pakistani Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist who was caught alive after the supreme sacrifice of Assistant Sub-Inspector Tukaram Ombale during the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, was given a free and fair trial before being hanged
नेशनल अजमल अमीर कसाब को हमने ओपन कोर्ट में उसकी केस चलाई थी। अजमल अमीर कसाब को न्याय देने के लिए दो वकील नियुक्त कोर्ट ने किए थे और इसकी ट्रांसपेरेंसी पूरे विश्व में सराहना की है। पाकिस्तान सरकार ने कसाब के बारे में उसे न्याय नहीं मिला, उसे टॉर्चर किया गया, उसका इकबाली बयान, उसे इल ट्रीटमेंट किया, ऐसा कोई आरोप नहीं लगाया था।
The National Investigation Agency and intelligence agencies proposed to interrogate Captain Rana to unravel the role of Pakistan Army, ISI and Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists including Hafiz Mohammed Saeed in the planning and execution of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks that resulted in the loss of 166 lives in India.
The joint statement which was adopted during the visit of the Prime Minister also reflects this sentiment. We are working closely with the US government to meet the necessary formalities to allow for his extradition to India. So that is where it is. There are certain legalities in the United States for which I cannot answer, but those also have to be taken care of. But our understanding is that we are working with the US government.
Pakistan has been very apprehensive about Pakistan Army's Captain Rana's extradition to India. Pakistan fears skeletons in their cupboard will come tumbling out, exposing Pakistan's military terror network globally. Bureau Report, India Today. So Pakistan Army's Captain Tahawwur Hussain Rana and Pakistani-American Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist David Coleman Headley, they were both sleeper cells of Lashkar-e-Taiba in Canada and the United States of America. So since they were US and Canadian passport holders, it helped them mask their original Pakistani identity, and they were able to repeatedly come to India virtually unchecked. They used to carry out reconnaissance missions in India from Delhi to Mumbai, from Pune to Bangalore. And this is just one of the many reasons why the extradition of Captain Tahawwur Hussain Rana becomes extremely crucial in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks case. So let's try and make sense of these developments. Joining me on this special broadcast are Professor Rajita Kulkarni Bagga, President of the Sri Sri University and a 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks survivor. Ma'am, privileged to have you on the show. Dr. Vikram Singh is former DGP of the Uttar Pradesh Police to talk about the legal aspects. Arzu Kazmi is a senior journalist who joins us from Pakistan. Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar to give us a diplomatic perspective. Sir, many thanks for joining us. Professor Kulkarni, you apparently spent over 13 hours at the Taj Hotel amidst that gunfiring when the terrorists were inside the Taj during the siege. 17 years later, madam, when this information comes in that one of the key plotters will be extradited to India, are you finally hopeful of justice that may have eluded you so far?
Yes, absolutely, Gaurav. It's a very a big moment for us, all of us who were in the different locations on that, terrifying night of 26/11. And for the martyrs, their families, all other survivors, and over 166 people, including so many foreign nationals, women, children. 22 children lost their lives in those attacks. So I think this is one more rung we are climbing in our, to the of the steps to justice. And it is a very big win for our country. We are a top 5 economy of the world today, aspiring to be a top 3 economy of the world. We are not a pushover nation. And I think an announcement like this made not just by anybody but the President of the United States confirming the extradition of Rana to India, I think it's a big signal that our counter-terror cooperation between India and the US is strengthening, maturing, and it's a big signal to the world that, you cannot enter our country and conduct terrorist operations like this. We are not a pushover. So I think, yes, it is a big day for us.
We are not a pushover anymore, perhaps is the signal, and you're absolutely right, madam. Arzu Kazmi, before I bring in, the police perspective and a diplomatic perspective, Arzu, what are reactions in Pakistan to Pakistan Army's former Captain Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India? Is Pakistan apprehensive that your game will be up, Pakistan's game will be up?
No, I think Gaurav, as Pakistan said that he is not a Pakistani citizen, he is American citizen. So इन्होंने ये कह के अपना जैसे कहते हैं ना पीछा छुड़ा लिया है और now they want के जैसे अमेरिका करे या जैसे अमेरिकन कोर्ट्स करेंगी उसी को फॉलो किया जाए तो उनको जब पाकिस्तानी सिटीजन मानेंगे ही नहीं तो दैट मीन्स कि हम अभी भी कोई चीज़ मानने को किसी चीज़ को ठीक करने के लिए अभी भी रेडी नहीं है एज यू नो अगर हम थोड़ा सा भी रेडी होते तो हम इस चीज़ को एक्सेप्ट करते कि हाँ ये पाकिस्तानी सिटीजन है इसने गलत किया है और मुंबई अटैक्स में इन्वॉल्व था बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली पाकिस्तान अभी भी उसी स्टेटमेंट के ऊपर है कि ये पाकिस्तानी सिटीजन नहीं है तो हमारा कोई लेना देना नहीं है तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि जरा सी भी यहाँ पर पॉलिसीज में कोई चेंजेस आए
लेकिन क्या वो बेनकाब करेगा पाकिस्तान को, यह बड़ा प्रश्न है। बिकॉज डॉक्टर विक्रम सिंह, तहव्वुर हुसैन राना, he didn't want to be extradited to India, and his last petition to the Supreme Court in the United States of America, he took that plea: I am of Pakistani origin, I am a Muslim, I will not be safe in India. So he says I'm Pakistani. Pakistan now says no, no, not ours, not ours. It just goes on to show that Pakistan remains that evil state that refuses to recognize its soldiers, whether in Kargil or 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, sir.
Good evening, Gaurav ji and ladies and gentlemen. On very expected lines, in the sense that yes, denial is seems to be the key and buzzword for Pakistan. He has been trained in the Hassan Abdal Academy, and there is a close user group that go by the Abdalis, and the Abdalis are worked together and exchange notes of beheading. And you may recall that there was a terrorist, Kashmiri, and they were in touch with Kashmiri. They are
Ilyas
known,
Kashmiri, yes, sir.
they are known to be a very valuable asset of the ISI. And David Coleman Headley and Ilyas Kashmiri, and they were in fact the prized assets of the ISI and the Pakistan Army. David Coleman Headley and they worked in tandem. In fact, the audacity with which this man opened his shop, First World Immigration Center, was also the cover for David Coleman Headley to come and move around. And shamelessly, the manner in which some Bollywood bigwigs also helped David Coleman Headley to join gyms and take them around on a sightseeing operation. I salute the valor of Professor Kulkarni, that with such valor and the nightmare that she had to face, she comes in front of us and very bravely gives the example of what Indians are. Now coming to the David partnership between Coleman Headley and this. It is not for the first time that this man has come, Tahawwur Hussain Rana has come into light. He has been convicted for 14 years and let loose for good conduct. I don't know what kind of good conduct he did. There was a charge of him being involved and complicit in the attack on a Netherlands newspaper. Also many other terrorist charges were leveled against him. And the standard operating procedure is Miss Arzu Kazmi has always been so brave and gallant as always. And today also she comes out. I at times fear for her safety, and I'm sure Allah will look after her and see to it that she comes to no harm. But yes, the faithful interrogation with which he will be subjected by lie detector test and the polygraph test, it will not just be the skeletons that will tumble out. The carrion crows will be let loose, and whatever the depredations were of David Coleman Headley, and also with the Mumbai film industry, the undesirable elements, as also of Tahawwur Rana, well, and IA has a job at hand, and let's hope they come out with the truth and the ultimate truth and actionable intelligence thereafter.
Sooner the better, because Ambassador Sajanhar, 17 years later, what does India hope to achieve with the interrogation of David Coleman Headley's friend, colleague and partner in crime, brother in crime, Captain Tahawwur Hussain Rana? Or is this merely an academic exercise, Ambassador Sajanhar?
Thank you very much, Gaurav. No, I don't think it's an academic exercise. I think we've had a very rich discussion on your program. And, I think all the speakers, starting with Professor Kulkarni to Arzu to Dr. Singh, I think they have given indications as to what is it that India is looking for. And let me put it sort of, very succinctly, two particular aspects. One, of course, there would be huge changes that have taken place in Islamabad, in Pakistan already. But still, I think 26/11 continues to be one of those events like the 9/11. And we need to get to the bottom of that as to what exactly did happen. I think another thing, whatever might be the preparations of the ISI then or now, I think India is far more prepared today, Gaurav, to deal with any such evil designs that any country or any organization might have. I think we have, after the Uri attack in September 2016, the surgical strikes after 2019, Balakot and Pulwama, I think we have demonstrated that India is not going to take such attacks in future lying down. And I think the message has gone across. That is why we don't see anything coming. But the second point is also equally important, because I'm sure that Tahawwur Hussain Rana and David Coleman Hadley would not have been able to carry out their evil and nefarious designs if they did not also have some sleeper cells in India. So
very important point.
Who were these people that they were connecting with? Because all the venues that were chosen, whether it is the Kapad House or it is the Taj Hotel or it is the railway station, etc., they were taken for maximum visibility, maximum impact, and also as far as foreigners are concerned. And amongst foreigners also, it is Americans and it is Jews. Those who are, because that is what Pakistan wanted to send out a message. Number one, India is not safe for doing business, so get out of here. And foreigners are not safe being in India, so they should not be coming here. So I think
very important point you make there. हमारी आस्तीन में वो कौन-कौन से सांप है और क्या 17 साल से वो सांप पनप रहे हमारी आस्तीन में, and we'll come to that point in just a moment. But Professor Kulkarni, it's been my privilege. I interviewed you immediately after 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks and subsequently, and you've been brave throughout. Were you disappointed? Though Kasab was captured, he had a trial, he was hanged, 9 terrorists were killed, but the main plotters of terror, you see, because these people are like leaves and branches of the terror tree with roots in Pakistan, the main plotters of 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, they got away with murder. They've gotten away scot-free even after 17 years. No action against them in Pakistan.
Yes, of course, Gaurav, that is but natural. And, anybody who has any kind of patriotism or national pride will feel these emotions. You cannot have the audacity to enter my nation on a normal working, it was a weekday, it was Wednesday. And as Ambassador Sir said, these were locations which were prime locations for a city like Mumbai, where people were going around their business, either entertaining. It was November, it was wedding season. In the Taj Hotel that day, there were 4 weddings, board meetings. People are taking trains from the train station. So you are attacking a nation at its pulse, at its very core. And, if there is no consequence, of course, it is not such a good feeling. But I think what is happening today, in Hindi, we say, Jab jago tabhi savera. So things are happening. I'm very, very I have a deep faith in the leadership of our Prime Minister, Honorable Narendra Modi ji, what Jaishankar ji is doing, the social capital, the diplomatic capital we enjoy in the world today. As someone previously said, we cannot be taken lightly anymore. And I think the results we are seeing. So today is a good day, and I think we should take it from here ahead.
Oh, absolutely, because after 26/11, there was no response, Ambassador Sajanhar, and I'll come to that point in just a moment. We want to compare. 26/11 happened, 166 died. No response from India, no response. Weak-kneed response saying Pakistan is a nuclear weapon state. Pulwama happened, Pakistan was bombed in Balakot, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Very clear message sent across, no part of Pakistan is safe. You hit us, we'll bleed you and harder. But Dr. Vikram Singh, the 10 Pakistani terrorists, 9 who were killed in combat and the 10th who was hanged after a fair trial, they were just leaves and branches of the terror tree with roots in Pakistan. India still needs to take out the roots of the terror tree, sir. You're on mute. I'm sorry, sir, you're on mute.
Well, as Israel has proclaimed that no enemy of Israel is safe anywhere in the world, likewise, India has to proclaim that no enemy of India is safe anywhere in the world. We cannot take nonsense and we cannot be pushed around. As Professor Kulkarni has very valiantly mentioned, that the time has come that India has to take a principled stand. And this is the principled stand that India has taken now. And you have very rightly mentioned that those branches and those twigs do not matter. They are not even relevant. Those people who are breathing oxygen into terrorism and creating a subculture of terrorism and fedayeen attacks, they need to be annihilated, as Israel has done to the Hamas and the Hezbollah. The time has come to take on the LET and other Tanzim so that they go into the backdrop of history and do not resurface again. But to Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar sir, I would say that yes, there are not sleeper cells, but they are willing accessories who aided and abetted the Pakistan evil design. Film stars, film producers, it's too premature to name anyone at this point of time, but a word to the wise is enough. I would say they need to be taken to task and the property confiscated, as in the case of Makoka and in the UAPA.
So, is that time barred? Can Makoka still be imposed on those sleeper cells or those who connived with these Pakistani terrorists to bleed their own motherland? If they consider this place their motherland, these are many, many questions and very crucial questions we will continue to seek answers to, and I'm coming to that in just a moment. But Arzu Kazmi, does Pakistan realize, especially after Pulwama and Balakot, either they punish the guilty, because India has repeatedly submitted dossiers, Arzu, dossier पे dossier दिए कि दोषियों के खिलाफ कार्रवाई करे पाकिस्तान, जांच करे, FIA ने जांच की, आपके खोसा साहब ने जांच की और निकला कि थत्ता सिंध में ट्रेनिंग हुई थी, लश्कर-ए-तैयबा ने ट्रेनिंग की थी, लेकिन हाफिज सईद के खिलाफ 26/11 के लिए कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की गई. My question is, either Pakistan takes action or there are unknown gunmen in Pakistan. वो नामालूम अफराद आपके कुछ ना कुछ कर जाते हैं, आरजू.
देखें, गवर्नमेंट ने तो कोई एक्शन नहीं लेना है गौरव. कि चाहे वो हाफिज सईद हो, मसूद अजहर या जितने भी दूसरे हैं, ये सब के सब पाकिस्तान में हीरो माने जाते हैं. इनको हम यहाँ पर सब लोग इनकी बहुत रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं, इनको डोनेशंस देते हैं, इनको सिक्योरिटी देते हैं. इमरान खान जेल में जा सकते हैं लेकिन हाफिज सईद जेल में नहीं जा सकता. एहसानुल्लाह एहसान ट्विटर के ऊपर बैठकर ट्रोलिंग करता है पाकिस्तान की एजेंसीज की, पाकिस्तान की गवर्नमेंट की. किसने निकाला एहसानुल्लाह एहसान को, कहाँ गया वो? तो जब ये सब इन चीजों को सपोर्ट करेंगे और सपोर्ट करते रहेंगे, पॉलिसी नहीं बनाएंगे, चाहे जो मर्जी हो जाए, एक बार क्या 4 बार आप FATF में इनको भेज दें, कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. तो मुझे नहीं लगता, मुझे लगता है अननोन गनमैन ही अगर कुछ कर पाया तो कर पाएगा, अदरवाइज गवर्नमेंट तो कुछ नहीं कर सकती.
या बड़ी बात कह रही हैं आरजू, आप सुरक्षित रहिए, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान में सच बोलने वालों के खिलाफ काफी कड़ी कार्रवाई होती है. ऐसा सुना है कि नामालूम अफराद तो कुछ करे ना करे, आपकी ISI और पाकिस्तान आर्मी मैंने सुना है काफी एक्टिव हो जाती है. तो सुरक्षित रहिएगा आप आरजू. और एम्बेसडर सज्जनहार, आई वांट टू कम टू यू. आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड, interrogation of this Tahawwur Hussain Rana becomes very crucial because it's his future plans of Pakistan's ISI and deep state. It's not as if Pakistan does not plan to bleed India anymore. Pakistan तो वो वो एक सांप की तरह है, वो आपको डसेगा ही, वो उसका धर्म है आपको डसना. As External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar also said that bigotry is in the DNA of Pakistan. What do we do? Because to know their future plans. Right now, Pakistan is weak. Right now, Pakistan is scared. In case they do a Pulwama, Narendra Modi government will do a Balakot. But tomorrow, they could strike. There may be another government. They could again think that, okay, now it's another moment for 26/11. They could try and strike our country once again. So interrogating Tahawwur Hussain Rana is very important to know what terror's future plans are.
No, absolutely. I think whatever Tahawwur Rana can share with us, or we can extract out of him, because I don't think there's going to be anything willingly that is going to come our way. But, whatever we are going to extract and whatever might be the utility, because I think we also need to recognize, Gaurav, that it is already 17 years and he has not been in active connect as far as all the, those in Pakistan who are engaged in plotting all these attacks against India. So, his information might not be current. But in that context, I think whatever we are able to get out of Tahawwur Rana and whatever, how Pakistan had done it that way, I think this will also be a message to Pakistan that India is going to be very, very stern against its adversaries and against those who are inclined in a hostile manner as far as India is concerned. So I think it is also in terms of sending out a message to Pakistan, to the world, that no one will be able to get away by engaging in activities of this nature. Those times are past. You said, Gaurav, that there might be a change in government. I think India has started thinking. It's not only, it's Indian leadership has brought this change, but now it is the Indian people who are not going to tolerate that 26/11 happens, and then we are just sort of sitting on our hands and doing nothing. I think it is the Indian people who are going to make sure also the vigilance from our security forces is there, and the determination of our leadership and of our people is there, that actions of this nature will not go unresponded. And I'm quite confident that
Okay.
this energy that has been given, that is going to stay with us for future.
Professor Kulkarni, as a victim of Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror, after 26/11, were you disappointed that India did not respond to that Pakistani terror? We had interviewed Air Chief Marshal Fali Homi Major, then Chief of Air Staff, and he said they had presented a plan to then government, Dr. Manmohan Singh's government, that they can go bomb Pakistan even then, but they did not get the green light. Do you notice a difference, and did it ever strike you that when Pulwama happened, Narendra Modi government went and hit Balakot so that Pakistan gets a message no part of Pakistan is safe if they hit India? But post 26/11, there was no response.
Yes, Gaurav, you're absolutely right. I mean, today when we talk about this incident 17 years later, also it stirs such deep emotions and such deep trauma. It is a national trauma that we are living through as a country. Imagine how it was at that time. This was not a normal terror attack. It was a live terror situation for 72 hours. It was over 3.5 days that this situation, was a live situation. So many people died. It was a white city. Mumbai was a white city that weekend. I mean, we got tired of going from cremation to cremation of friends and business associates. It was a monumental trauma for our country at that time. And to have the audacity to enter a city like Mumbai through its waters, through the fisherman's colony. I stayed, Gaurav, in the neighborhood that time.
Yes.
That fisherman's colony is something I passed every day to my work. And you take a left turn there, you look left out of your car window, and that's where they came out of very casually and entered our country. I mean, this is the information we have. And to have your countrymen be hit like this, imagine what a moment it was, and to have not responded. I mean, if you can't call it letting your country down, I don't know what else you can call it. But I think now we are looking like a country who cares for its people. We have the strength and the grit and the guts to give it back. I mean, we are a peace-loving country. We are the country of ahimsa.
But that peace comes from strength. Ma'am, you're absolutely right. I don't have to imagine it. I was there. I was covering 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks right outside Taj for the next 3 days. We were there covering that worst terror attack that we saw. And you're absolutely right, Dr. Vikram Singh. Pakistan has used the sea route even before. 1993 Mumbai blast, 257 died. 2006 train serial blast, 200 people died. They've repeatedly bled India, and because India did not take any action post 26/11, so even after that, even after 26/11, we had Zaveri Bazaar, German Pune bakery was targeted, a series of other terror attacks that happened because Pakistan said, "Ye log to kuch nahi karte, bas aar paar ki ladai dhamki dete, we cannot change our neighbors जैसी बातें करते हैं, कुछ नहीं कर सकते." It's only a Balakot कि पाकिस्तान के होश फख्ता हो गए that you mess around with India and you will bleed harder than ever before, sir. So is that the only language that Pakistan understands? And that's my question I'm coming to. The sleeper cells in India, the active participants in India, those who may want to side with Pakistan terror like they did in 1993, like they did in 2006, have such elements been weeded out? Or do we still have those Asteen ka Saap within us even today?
Gaurav, the old habits die hard. The sleeper cells are very much there. In a scale of 1 to 10, we may have neutralized maybe around 40 to 50%, but the 50% are very much alive and kicking, as you would see in very many agitations and the disturbances that take place all across the country. Now, unless we have the deterrence and a no-nonsense approach that anybody who strikes India, there will be consequences, and the consequences with devastating fatalities and with multiple compound interests to the aggressor. If that message is not there, perhaps we'll be taken as a soft state, as a sitting duck, which unfortunately the reputation that India earned till 26/11 happened. And even after that, try these monkey tricks with some state like Israel and China, and they would know the consequences. Now, Pakistan, in any case, is a failed state. Bankruptcy is looming large. And perhaps the only way that they can survive is an anti-India and program that is aimed at the majority community. Therefore, under these circumstances, Gauravji, perhaps that is the lifeline of Pakistan. And therefore, let us understand that this is the only lifeline that they have. And if again they try anything of their monkey tricks, there should be consequences and absolute deterrence, and with devastating consequences for the aggressors.
Arzu, before I wind up this part of the debate, I just want to understand from you. Can you explain why till the Pulwama terror attack in India, Pakistan was very active in spreading terror in India, and post Balakot, we still noticed terror happening in Jammu and Kashmir, but not beyond. What happened? What changed, Arzu, in your appreciation?
आई थिंक पाकिस्तान जो है वो अभी आपको पता है इस FATF की ग्रे लिस्ट में भी था और दूसरी प्रॉब्लम्स भी तो हैं, तो इसलिए ये थोड़ा सा कोशिश कर रहे हैं, बार बार कह रहे हैं कि टेररिज्म को रोकेंगे या रोकने की कोशिश करेंगे, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली अब जो टेररिज्म हमने दूसरों के लिए बनाया था वो अब हमारे ही सर के ऊपर जब फटना शुरू कर देंगे, जो आप देख रहे हैं चाहे वो TTP हो या BLA हो और दूसरे अटैक्स, तो डेफिनेटली अब इनको ये समझ आ रही है, मगर अब बहुत देर हो गई है। अब उसमें से आप जानते हैं कि बहुत से नए ग्रुप्स बन गए हैं और इनको कंट्रोल नहीं हो रहा, और जिस तरीके से पाकिस्तान में हर दूसरे दिन अटैक चल रहे हैं, कैजुअलिटीज हो रही हैं, तो आई डोंट थिंक ये लोग इतनी आसानी से उसको कंट्रोल कर पाएंगे या बहुत जल्द ही इसमें किसी किस्म की कोई चीज आएगी। यहाँ बार बार जो इशारा है या बार बार भारत की तरफ जरूर बात की जाएगी, और उसकी रीजन भी यही है कि अटेंशन जो है वो डाइवर्ट करने की कोशिश की जाएगी ऑडियंस की या कह लीजिए पब्लिक की, ताकि वो लोग जो हैं जो अफगानिस्तान की बात कर रहे हैं, जो बलूचिस्तान की बात कर रहे हैं, उनको ये कहा जाए कि देखिए जी भारत जो है वो हमारे ऊपर गलत एलिगेशंस लगा रहा है और आपको बलूचिस्तान की पड़ी है। तो यहाँ पर तो जैसे मैंने पहले कहा कि पॉलिसीज बहुत गलत बनी हुई हैं और दे आर नॉट रेडी टू चेंज दैम।
Ambassador Sajanhar, you've dealt with Pakistan and you've dealt with radical Islamist terror, and now Europe is bearing the brunt of it. So are other parts of the world. The only language Pakistan understands is punishment and punitive strikes. Sadly, Pakistan and rise of radical Islamists in Bangladesh, the only language they understand is bleed them harder.
No, absolutely. I think vigilance, Gaurav, will have to be the order of the day. We cannot let our guard down. I think that is the sine qua non. That is absolutely essential, that notwithstanding the fact, as it was mentioned, that 50% even within home, we might have been able to debilitate the sleeper cells. But still, whatever remains, make sure that they don't grow, because we see that the world over, whether it's in the Middle East, there are those influences. They have a tendency to sort of, travel across borders, seep across borders. India will have to be constantly on the vigil. And as far as Europe is concerned, what you said is very right. And even our security counter-terror collaboration with Europe and with the other countries, because I think if there is one country which has been able to deal with this issue effectively, I think it is India, in terms of the experience that we have been able to garner. And we would be happy to share that experience with other countries to ensure that there is no problems as far as other areas are concerned, other countries are concerned, particularly Europe and all, where we have good economic partnership, economic relationship, and we would want that there is peace, tranquility, and security in those countries.
So India-America cooperation on display here with Tahawwur Hussain Rana's extradition to India. Let's see what information comes out and whether India is able to completely degrade Pakistan's military jihad complex's ability to target India by bleeding the terror state harder. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me on this very interesting debate. Reports just coming in, and former army officer has been assaulted over an argument over Waqf law. Argument over Waqf law turns physical. A taxi driver has assaulted a former army officer, and this happened in Kanpur, or on the road between Kanpur and Lucknow. Information we are getting is that Kanpur District Soldiers Welfare Board officer, a retired army colonel, he was, from information coming in, he was praising the Narendra Modi government. He was praising the Waqf law while on a telephone call, talking to somebody on the phone. And there was an argument with an Ola driver, with a taxi driver, while traveling to Lucknow. The driver, according to the complaint filed with the police, got angry and called some of his aides and assaulted the passenger. The information we are getting, his documents and cash have been looted. The passenger has been admitted, the retired army officer has been admitted to hospital. That's the information that's coming in, and those are some images that we are getting you on your television screen of the assault that took place. I want to quickly cut across to India Today's Simar Chawla, who joins us live from Kanpur for more on the story. Simar, what details do we have? What happened?
Well, Gaurav, that's a shocking incident that has come into the notice. What we have learned is that he's a retired army officer, a retired colonel who lives in Lucknow but was traveling to Kanpur for a friend's wedding. Now, when he was going back to Lucknow from Kanpur, in the middle of the road near Achalganj area of Unnao, he was talking to someone regarding the Waqf bill, and he in fact was praising the Waqf bill regarding the recent bill which has been passed. It was then, as per the allegation, the cab driver who was from the different community did not like the discussions and did not like him praising the Waqf bill. It was then they both entered into the argument, and which lately turned up into a physical fight. What the allegations have been put from the side of the retired colonel is that he has called some of his colleagues, he has called some of his friends on the road, and then 3 to 4 people in fact physically assaulted him, beaten him, after which he was severely injured. Now the affair has been registered in the Unnao district in the Achalganj area, which clearly says that the scuffle started after the Waqf bill was being praised by the retired army officer. And what we have learned by our sources is that 2 arrests have been made in this very particular matter, the driver and his friend. But as per police, they have given their statement that this whole scuffle was not about the Waqf bill. However, this has been maintained from the side of the army officer, who is now admitted in the command center, command hospital in Lucknow. The police says that once he's fit, once he's ready to talk, we'll go to him, we'll record his statement and the further investigation to follow. But as of now, the developments, the information that has been shared with us, and also the images and videos that has turned up regarding the army officer being injured, that in fact in itself is a very shocking development, Gaurav.
Simar, keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more. For the moment, Simar Chawla in Kanpur, many thanks. An explosion rocked the house of a former Punjab minister and BJP leader Manoranjan Kalia. This happened in Jalandhar. Police have arrested 2 accused in this case. Punjab's top cop said that a Pakistan-based suspected terrorist is among the key conspirators. The police suspect an ISI and a Babbar Khalsa International. It's a terrorist organization. It's a Khalistani terrorist organization. They suspect a BKI linked to this terror attack. The aim was to create communal disharmony and sectarian disharmony in Punjab. We get you more in this report. Another day, another grenade blast. In the early hours of Monday, a grenade was hurled at the home of former Punjab minister Manoranjan Kalia. The former minister was at home at the time of the attack, but fortunately was unharmed. India Today has accessed CCTV images of the blast. The suspect seen driving an e-rickshaw is captured on camera conducting a reconnaissance mission outside the house. The suspect then makes a U-turn before hurling the grenade at the BJP leader's house.
We are in Jalandhar, you can see this is the house which came under grenade attack, and a grenade was lobbed from this place, and you can say this is the impact where the grenade was lobbed, it bursted here, exploded over here, and after this, this is the kind of impact you saw, that the entire this door panel came down, and this is the partition that came down, and the devastation was such that fortunately there was no human loss, no casualty, no injuries to anyone, because it was around 1 a.m.
Kalia said he woke up to the sound of the blast, initially mistaking it for an explosion in a transformer.
ब्लास्ट हुआ तो मैंने सोचा कि भाई ये ट्रांसफार्मर है यहाँ लगा हुआ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बोर्ड का तो मैंने कहा वहाँ जो शट डाउन हुआ है मुझे लगा तो इतने में फिर उसके बाद मेरा ड्राइवर आता है बताता है कि भी ऐसे ऐसे बॉम्ब अटैक हुआ है.
The police have arrested 2 people, Zishan Akhtar and Shehzan Bhatti, as the masterminds responsible for the grenade attack. The police have accused Shehzad Bhatti of being a Pakistan-based terrorist.
एक मेजर कॉन्स्पिरेसी थी जो पाकिस्तान के आईएसआई के द्वारा रची गई थी, और इसमें जीशान अख्तर जो कि एक एसोसिएट है लॉरेंस बिश्नोई और गैंगस्टर शहजाद भट्टी का, उन्होंने मिलके ये एक साजिश रची थी.
Politics has escalated with the opposition targeting the Bhagwant Mann government over collapsing law and order in Punjab.
जो डीजीपी हैं जहां और सीनियर ऑफिसर हैं वो आईबी के साथ, रॉ के साथ और पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस के साथ, होम मिनिस्ट्री के साथ एक कोऑर्डिनेशन उनको रखना पड़ता है. वो तालमेल है जो वो रख नहीं सके, क्योंकि एक मुख्यमंत्री जो भगवंत मान है वो एक रखना भी चाहे, लेकिन केजरीवाल और सिसोदिया उनको वो कोऑर्डिनेशन रखने नहीं देते.
Sardar Sukhbir Singh Badal attacked in the premises of Golden Temple. What did the Punjab police do? Punjab police helped the assailant and helped him getting the bail. Sardar Bikram Singh Majithia's security is cut down just to please the Aam Aadmi Party high-ups.
The police have confiscated the e-rickshaw. This is the first grenade attack on a politician's residence in Punjab, but it comes after a series of such attacks on police stations. With Asim Bassi, Bureau Report, India Today. And shifting focus to the big international story, there's now an all-out tariff war between the United States of America and China. US President Donald Trump has announced an additional 50% tariff on China less than 48 hours after Beijing announced a tit-for-tat 34% tariff on US exports to China. So reports say China is now considering a multi-front economic pushback, including, according to some reports in social media in China, that they may ban all Hollywood films in China. We get you more in this report.
China's 34% tit-for-tat tariffs on American goods has infuriated Donald Trump. The US president has threatened to slap another 50% tariff on China if Beijing doesn't withdraw the levy by Tuesday.
With China, as you know, against my statement, they put a 34% tariff on above what their ridiculous tariffs were already. And I said, if that tariff isn't removed by tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we're putting a 50% tariff on above the tariffs that we put on.
Let's break down the mathematics of Trump's tariffs on China. With a fresh 50% tariff threat looming that comes on top of the 34% reciprocal tariffs slapped on April 2nd, and an early 20% for failing to curb fentanyl flow into the United States. The total tariff can go up to 104%. This is not taking into account the pre-existing tariffs of 7.5% to 25% from Trump's first term as president. China is unfazed, calling Trump's tariffs blackmail and disruption of the global economic order. The Xi Jinping administration says they will not hesitate to fight back.
The Chinese government strongly condemns and firmly opposes such actions. The US approach is a typical act of unilateralism, protectionism, and economic bullying, which causes harm to others while backfiring on itself.
China is considering a multi-front economic pushback. First in line is a ban on Hollywood films. This will hit US studios as their films earned nearly $585 million in China in 2024 alone. China may also suspend its fentanyl cooperation with the United States, target US intellectual property benefits, and finally impose curbs on trade in services.
Pressure, threats and blackmail are not the right ways to deal with China. China will surely take necessary measures to resolutely safeguard its legitimate rights and interests. If US disregards the interest of both countries and the international community and insists on engaging in tariff war and trade war, China will fight to the end.
The tariff war has reportedly led to a divide between Donald Trump and his advisor Elon Musk. Reports say the tech mogul has been privately recommending Trump to reverse his tariffs on Chinese imports. This comes just a day after Musk batted for zero tariffs between the United States and the European Union.
From now until I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move, ideally, in my view, to a zero tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America.
China and Donald Trump are both unwilling to bend. Will this trade war shake up markets further? Bureau Report, India Today.
And I quickly want to cut across to Business Today TV's associate editor Chetan Bhutani, who joins us for more on this. So Chetan, is this now a game of brinkmanship? 34%. Now America is warning there'll be another 50% tariffs on China. This escalation would only spell trouble, not just for China and the US, but will it have a cascading effect on the rest of the globe?
Well, absolutely, Gaurav. There are 3 to 4 key major issues that needs to be addressed alongside the tariff war with the China and, of course, with the United States. We see, particularly in the sectors like electronics, manufacturing, agriculture, because these companies will definitely have to reroute their sourcing and production. In fact, we'll see increased costs for businesses and consumers. In fact, higher tariffs are driving up the cost of goods traded between the US and the China, with ripple effects increasing pricing globally for raw material, components, and finished products like smartphones, vehicles, and of course, auto components and apparels as well. Well, global financial markets, as we all know and have been aggressively reporting on it, are in a state of great volatility. We see oil prices hovering around 64 to 62 odd dollars per barrel because the recession fears are looming around. Plus, lastly, Gaurav, I'd like to conclude by saying the shift in trade alliances. We see China's export controls on rare earth elements and focus on diversified trade partners definitely emerges as a good story and a bright spot for India. But yes, we'll have to wait and watch as to the other markets are responding to the tariff because Trump, as we know, is actually looking forward to a retaliatory tariff. But we'll have to wait and watch as to what these 3 to 4 key elements work out.
Keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more. For the moment, Chetan, many thanks. Now, after Black Monday on Dalal Street, Tuesday marked a new beginning for markets in India. So Dalal Street showed signs of recovery on Tuesday after the stormy start to the week. Despite that sharp fall on Monday, Nifty managed to stay above the 22,000 level, which is considered an important level. Sensex jumped 902 points, reached 74,000. Now, that marks a rise of about 1.5% for both the indices. Government sources have told India Today that the Prime Minister's office is monitoring the impact on Indian market share, on the Indian share market, and is working towards attempting to cushion the impact on the Indian economy. And sources are saying PSUs have been asked to distribute profits to investors. The External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, had a conversation with the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. The two nations have agreed that it's extremely important for both India and the United States of America to speedily conclude a bilateral trade agreement soon, hopefully by fall. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal said the government is in touch with various sectors. He added that India sees tariffs as an opportunity to gain from. Now, Piyush Goyal also said that India does not find China's pricing to be fair.
अलग-अलग सेक्टर की अलग-अलग भावनाएं हैं। मेरी चर्चा तो लगातार निरंतर सबसे चलती रहती है। साधारणतः भारत की इंडस्ट्री को इसमें अपॉर्चुनिटीज दिखती है। कॉन्फिडेंट है हम कि इसमें भारत का भला ही होगा। प्राइम मिनिस्टर launched Startup India movement 9 years ago, and we've come a long way. From 400 startups, we are now 170,000 plus. The country is proud of the good work the startups have done.
So we'll track developments on the story, but that is all I have for you on 5 Live this evening. Many thanks for watching.